Streaming.
Yeah, so the room should come up soon, and then
Can you still hear me and see me okay? I switched my headset.
yeah, everything looks good.
Okay.
All right, let me post the links for everyone.
I have like a 2-minute intro I can do when I'm introducing myself. And then, yeah, when we start, I can talk about that, and then we can go to questions, I guess, if that works.
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, I'm just trying to open Discord. Okay. Okay. All right.
Cool. So we're live on YouTube and link posted on Discord.
Yeah, we are. So we can get started soon. Just okay. So yeah, I guess yeah, whenever you're ready, you can start with the intro, and
Sure.
then we can go through the questions like I talked about.
Sounds good. Thanks, Scotty. So thanks for having me. My name is Tom Ho, and I'm currently the Senior Director of Product at Binance.us. My responsibility there is overseeing a few product areas and also project management. For those who are not familiar with Binance US, we are a regulated crypto exchange for users in the United States. The typical thing, offer trading, fiat on-off ramps, staking, and NFTs as well. A little more about me. My passion is actually in building products. I know this is a hackathon, so I'll talk a little bit about my journey into what I'm doing today, and how I got to some of my successes. So I graduated a little over 13 years ago, after the 2008 financial crisis. I studied computer science at UBC in Vancouver, Canada. My first few jobs was an engineer, and I quickly realized two things. I wasn't very good at what I was doing as an engineer. And the second, I think more important thing was I wasn't very happy to work on insignificant features that were testing more features that were testing other features. At larger corporations, that's what I felt I was doing. I was learning a little bit, but I feel like my passion wasn't there. I did do some side projects while I was studying. And I really enjoyed the time where I actually spent time working with clients, understanding the problems that they're trying to solve, and building. Back then, it was quite popular to do freelance web development. So I did that for some clients locally here. It was really fun understanding the problems, creating a website or a website with like a content management system so they can better run their business more efficiently and also have a website. So I really enjoyed that process. And I was thinking, okay, what can I do to get closer to my passion? I realized my communication skill was above average, while engineering wise, I just didn't have the passion to continue to write code. So I eventually moved into more project management, managing larger projects, and then into product where I'm really passionate about building products. At the end of the day, if you want to build a really good product or a winning product at a hackathon, it's not the code, it's the product, right? So it's really about product. And for product, the way I think about it very quickly is I see product management as the intersection of understanding users, really understanding technology, what's out there that can be leveraged, and then really important, and I actually sometimes forgotten at really large companies, is the business model of how it makes money. So think about 3 circles, right? Users, understanding users, user behavior, user problems, technology, what's available, and then business, because you want something where all those 3 are actually overlaps. So I think a product that way, first understanding user problems, what can this product solve? Or can we build something useful for users? If the answer is no, it doesn't matter your tech is amazing. It doesn't matter you have a winning business model. So you think of a product that can be useful for users. You make sure there is a good technology that can create the solution, but make sure users love it so much they're willing to pay for it, whether it's through a subscription, actual pay per usage, or things like a little more savvy would be, sell data for ads, which I know people don't like these days, like freemium models, right? Things like that. So that's a little bit about me. So product person, started as engineer, and now working at Binance US. And before that, I spent 3 years at crypto.com, where I kind of led the retail product app.
All right. Yeah, thanks for showing all that. I think one of the really interesting things that you brought up is it's not about the code, it's about the product. And one thing that I think not just engineers, but I think any product person, I think something that a lot of us struggle with is it's easy to get caught up in making everything perfect to the point that you forget what the market wants. And of course, it's also infuriating when someone comes up with the worst idea possible and yet the market loves it.
Yeah.
But I think it's one of those things, just in general, understanding that there's an MVP, minimum viable product. And there's a version 1.0, version 2.0. What's the problem to be solved? What's the solution for the problem? I think in general, for anyone trying to understand that, it's a very big first lesson. So in your case, for you going from crypto.com to Binance, I guess, what are some of the big lessons you've learned, not just in terms of the product like you already described, but since you're not in a traditional area, even though you're in corporate, I guess it's not exactly corporate, it's still kind of startup, but it's not exactly a small team. I guess what are some of the big lessons you've learned from that?
Yeah. So I think in general, being effective as a product manager or working at a larger company, it's a lot about actually being easy to work with and being an expert at the market you're in. Because I think if you look online and learn about product management, they talk a lot about frameworks, things like MVP, testing MVPs, how do you prioritize features in a roadmap? But a lot of it is actually thinking about, if you're in the crypto space or Web3 to be specific, how much do you know actually about the space? How much do you know about the competitors? If you don't actually know that really well, I think it's hard to be a really good product person. And it's really hard to build a good startup or idea if you don't actually understand that space really well. Even like, for example, you're a very strong engineer, but you don't actually know what frameworks out there, what open source tools out there for the Web3 or what people are building, it's going to be hard to build a really good product that people actually, when I mean good product, it's a product that actually users want, actually a good technical solution, and actually there's a business model behind it. So one of the things I learned is like really understand your domain. I know this hackathon is surrounding Web3, and I'm more in the CeFi space. I can talk a little bit about that if we want.
Yeah, and I don't think we necessarily need to talk about Web3 as a whole, but we also don't have to limit it to just crypto and all that. I think it's more, we do want to be able to say what are different mindsets in this space, because just like you pointed out, there's a lot of people here who have the skills to build stuff, but from there, if they have the skills, how do they use it? And I think this is where the mindset comes into play. And actually, I was actually going to lead towards the next question, asking how you got started, because, like you said, you were originally engineer and you made some transitions. What was it that helped you get started, and not just adopting the mindset, but also deciding this is the mindset you want to work with?
Yeah, I think it's actually starts very early on. As I was working early career and studying, I was thinking about like, what am I passionate about? The reason why I moved away from engineering mostly was because I didn't enjoy coding as much. And I didn't get challenged in terms of problem solving at a wider or larger context when I was an engineer, probably because I was super junior. So when I moved into product, or when I realized that there is a role where I can actually spend more time thinking about user problems and coming up with solutions and understanding the business and technology to solve that problem, I realized that would be something I'm more passionate about. And how that actually all started was early on. I'm a big tech geek. I really like to travel and explore around, but I was very bad with directions. And I realized since the smartphone era and products like Google Maps, Yelp, even Facebook helped me reconnect with friends. LinkedIn helped me expand my professional network. These products really impacted my life and improved the standard of my living significantly. And my passion was I'd like to share and give back. So I wanted to work on massive consumer products that will actually impact people positively. So that became my passion for work. And that's how I kind of, to this day, I still have that mindset. I'm building to make a difference in the world. And because some of these products completely changed my life and improved my standard of living. So I want to pay it forward to other people. But that's kind of my mindset. And that probably helps me, learn about new technology, new business every day, because that's something that made a huge impact in my life. And I want to actually do that for others too.
Yeah, that's great. And along the way, I'm sure for you picking up the mindset, you've also come across, you mentioned having, been impacted by smartphones and seeing, what technology does. But on top of that, what were some people who, whether you know them personally or not, who were some people who inspired you in this space?
I would say actually, in terms of more the crypto space, would actually be CZ, like Binance's CEO, CZ. I just find that when I see him focus on building, you can follow him on Twitter and things like that. It's very inspiring to see that his focus is continue to build, continue to onboard more users into the crypto space, and ignore the noises. So I find that to be quite interesting. And because I think in the crypto space, there's a lot of noise around, pumping these projects, talking about other topics. He's quite focused in that. But in general, my inspiration in product actually comes from more, I guess, traditional product space. People like Steve Jobs, building incredible products. And even also Elon a little bit, Elon Musk, talking about products and trying to build organization where there's not too many layers of management. Even Mark Zuckerberg's been saying that recently. We should stop having all these managers and really focus on building, thinking about what users want, and really spend that energy on not the bureaucratic stuff, but what makes a really good product. So that type of leader usually inspires me more. I know it's not really Web3 space, but I mean, the other Web3 person, Vitalik, I mean, Ethereum is, I think, incredible platform that will really change the way we understand blockchain and smart contracts and things like that.
All right. Yeah, I think there's definitely kind of based on the people you said, the technologies. I think there's not just lean technology, but agile, Scrum, waterfall. Was it 0 to 1? I don't think what else there is, but there's definitely a philosophy of, I don't know if there's an actual term, but I would say in general, if you're talking about product market fit, I would say I feel like there's definitely an emphasis on how do you get to the point of identifying product market fit. A lot of it is you got to get into the market. So, definitely how do you build something quick, test it, refine it. And of course, for everyone watching this, in terms of a hackathon, you're definitely going to be dealing with that to some degree. How do you build a product that, it not only fits what the market wants, but then, there's room to grow and all that. I think, the stuff you're talking about, there's definitely that challenge for anyone. For you, you've recently switched over to Binance and all that. You're in Vancouver now. Have your long-term goals in Web3 in tech, have they been impacted? Have they changed, or do they relate? Or are they still the same?
Sure. So my goal in kind of in the Web3 space, the way I see product is I go back to first principles. Why do people want to actually use your product? I like to work in more of the non-established space. That's basically how I got into Web3. I was seeing crypto as one of the next big platforms or next big things that blockchain, next big platforms to build on. So I joined crypto.com because I wanted to build something that's not as established, because in these spaces, it's kind of like startups. You will be able to learn more and quickly establish yourself faster, versus if you go into really traditional space where your seniors have 20 years of experience. It's very hard to establish yourself. So in terms of Web3, when I look at the whole crypto space, one of the most important things that CeFi or exchanges play a role in is fiat on-ramp. If users cannot get their hands on a crypto, it's going to be really hard for adoption in Web3. So that's kind of how I looked at it. And my current journey is mostly onboarding users into crypto. So I did that at crypto.com, and also Binance US right now is mostly for US users. And to me, looking at that is help them onboard from traditional fiat to crypto. And then within the crypto space, what can we actually do? Maybe quickly, two things is, you have crypto that you bought, you're happy that you have crypto. The next thing you might want to do is I want to earn yield. I want it to grow in value. So you can't really control it from growing in value or pricing. But what you can do is staking. And staking is pretty difficult for a non-engineer typical user to do. So at Binance US and a lot of these exchanges, we offer staking as a service. And that will help you grow and earn yield on crypto. So it's really product market fit, because the first thing is people see crypto going up, they want crypto. So we built a product where it's very easy. You have a credit card, you have a debit card, you have a bank, you have a bank account. I get on the crypto space. I have crypto now. What do we want to do next? I want to earn more on top of that. So we think of things like staking, lending, trading. If you're a good trader, you would probably make a profit. So I think of product that way, and I think of my journey right now is helping users on board, because right now I think the stat is like 400 million users in crypto, and we have a long ways to go to get to massive adoption.
Yeah, yeah, and I think one interesting thing I've noticed is when we're talking to people from stable first world economies, there tends to be a higher level of skepticism towards crypto, understandably, FTX and all that recently. And what I've noticed, I think a lot of it is because people treat it as more like a stock and a toy, an investment tool, which, to be fair, the US dollar, the euro, the Canadian dollar, these are currencies that can be used in those ways. But I think what happens is in a stable first world economy, you're not as likely to see the utility of crypto because you don't need it, right? If, let's say me and you, we need to exchange money. I might just tell you, just do a bank transfer, maybe something like Zelle or Venmo or something like that. And if that fails, all right, there's PayPal, Cash App, Apple Pay, so many things. But I think when you look at countries where they can't use their own currency, Venezuela and Zimbabwe, for example, they trust physical US currency more than their own currencies. And their problem is they have limited supplies of currency, right? They can't print their own US dollars. Ukraine is being invaded. So obviously, they have to make a massive transition in their economy. And even disaster areas such as Fukushima in Japan a few years ago, islands being hit by a hurricane. You can have temporary situations, even in first world countries, where you might not be able to use the physical currency very effectively, but then the digital currency actually serves as a great tool. So, kind of going back to what you said, I feel like, it's a very interesting time to see how all this develops. And like you said, I think you said 400 million users, right?
Yeah, somewhere around 400 million users in crypto. That's like the estimate we're at.
Yeah.
So we have billions to go. That's kind of part of my journey. Yeah.
Real quick, do you know the breakdown? How many of the 400 million are from the US, from Asia, from other places?
I don't have that breakdown, but I do know, just from working in the space, exactly the examples you're saying. Countries where their government issued fiat currencies have more of a unstable outlook. Those users in those areas tend to actually adopt crypto more often than some other countries. And yeah, that's one of the use cases. Another one that I'm also very interested in, like as a long-term goals in Web3, other than onboarding users from fiat to crypto, is actually as I'm more in this fintech space, is seeing that a lot of assets, actually, when you're transferring assets, even if it's actually from bank to bank, it's actually very inefficient. There's a lot of stages to sending money over to another person. There's all the clearing, banks, and settlement. So actually all these steps could be done more efficiently on a blockchain. And that goes into the other parts. Like you said, it's still easy to send money to users in the US. But when you then look at more of a tokenization of illiquid assets, let's say I have a property in California and I want to get a loan from that and actually buy something very small and significant. I want to buy a Subway sandwich, but somehow I don't have cash. But if we had more tokenization of illiquid assets like real estate, users will actually, more and more people will actually have more financial freedom. And the future outlook from how I look at it is the ownership of my property, I'll have a token on a blockchain, and there is assessment of value. And what it can do is go on another DApp or decentralized app and say that, hey, I want a loan for, and I have a property that I own, and I go to that tab and I sign to verify that I do own this property. And then in return, maybe it'll give me, a couple of stable coins, $10 stable coin. Like I'm not giving it all away, but I'm just getting a loan, and I'm using that property as a collateral. And then I can then use my, Binance Pay card and go to Subway and pay for something. Or even better, I sent USDC on, whatever network to Subway, and they'll accept my payment and settle. So it's tokenization of liquid assets give us more opportunity to be financially free. And this could be, sneakers, could be other, collector items. It doesn't have to be like real estate. That's one example. To me, tokenization could be a really strong use case for crypto and blockchain as well.
Yeah, definitely. In fact, last weekend I gave a talk about tokenizing carbon credits, and I think anyone who understands tokenization, even on a basic level, can see how being able to track these things, it does provide additional security, rather than, oh, you took a $20 bill from me. Now I can say, I can prove that's specifically my $20 bill in a sense. So same thing with carbon credits, saying, yeah, they used up all their carbon credits and they bought some from me. I can prove that I provided that. So, definitely the technology, the blockchain technology is a lot of times that's how people are able to really advance the financial aspect of cryptocurrency. Just like how when we first transitioned to metal circles for coins and paper rectangles for paper money, being able to insure stuff like through the FDIC and all that. I think a lot of it is as we improve various technologies, it allows financial tools to become more and more robust. And of course, we'll have to figure out how do we make new forms of currency work. But I think, the stuff you've talked about, it is very forward facing. A lot of people are still just not that they're struggling or behind, but they're still content with what has been going on. And it's really it's still, like you said, relatively small number of people who are trying to push the boundaries of all this. And for you being one of those people, how would you like to impact everyone following your footsteps?
Yeah. So I build products to help others and move things forward to improve, even for the tokenization of illiquid assets, which I'm interested in. It's really to improve financial freedom for more people, right? So I love people to kind of follow the footsteps of building great products that actually solve user problems, because that will improve lives and improve the economy. And to me, that's the most important. So whenever you're in emerging technology like Web3, blockchain, think more about actually what can that do for the majority of users. Think about existing technology, how that can be more efficient. So that's kind of something that I want to leave behind is, hey, can we all adopt the mindset that we can build better products and help more people? And then you definitely be rewarded, if you're a good builder, right? So to me, that's kind of how I look at how I want to impact the industry or people who kind of see my work.
All right. Well, thank you, Tom, for telling us all this, sharing everything with us. I think for anyone who's building their product, it gives them a lot to think about. It's not just the specific knowledge you mentioned, but also the mindset, the concepts that they can apply to their own products. And just in general, trying to identify what would the market want, building to that, rather than saying we have to build the best code, rather than saying let's build a product that actually addresses what people need. And of course, that could require some great code, but sometimes beyond that skill set, it's also the mindset, being able to say this is what they want. So hopefully for everyone who's watching this, hopefully this gives you some idea of what to do for this weekend. And anyone who wants to follow up with Tom and try to understand a little bit more, if you check our schedule, his contact information is there. We will also have his video or his LinkedIn in the video description below. So feel free to reach out. And just in general, anyone who has questions about product market fit, best product building practices and all that, you're also welcome to ask on our Discord. And if there's any questions specific for Tom, we can definitely pass them on for you. But otherwise, feel free to, just post on our Discord, and hopefully anyone who, if you get stuck this weekend, you still have one more week. Hopefully we can help you out. So good luck, everyone, and we'll see you around.
Thank you so much.